And the book of Vayikra, for the very much of it, is dealing with karbanos, offerings. It's got all the different types of offerings that were brought in the Beis Hamikdash, whether it was animals, whether it was birds, whether it was flour, some type of a cake item, and all the different reasons for it. And the Torah begins the Parsha by telling us that Hashem spoke to Moshe, and is actually the first two verses of this parsha you could spend a week on, but it starts off telling us Hashem spoke to Moshe from the Ohel Moed, and then he says, Adam ki yakriv mikem korban l'Hashem. Adam referring to a person. When a person is going to bring an offering for one of you, ki yakriv mikem, when he will bring from you a korban l'Hashem, an offering to Hashem. And commentaries are trying to understand why we have the word Adam. Why don't we say an ish or something like that? Well, the word Adam is a little unusual. There are a few places in the Torah where it refers to a person as Adam, not just Adam Harishon, but it seems to be a little unusual here, and also the way the wording is. And Rashi comments, he quotes a midrash that says that over here we're learning that there's a comparison to Adam Harishon, the first person, that just like Adam, when he brought an offering, his offering was not from stolen property. Because there wasn't anyone else in the world. He was the only one. So there was no one, everything belonged to him. So just like when he brought an offering, it was belonging to him and not to someone else, so too, when you bring an offering, you should make sure that it belongs to you and not anyone else. And by the way, this applies to anything you do when you do a mitzvah, any mitzvah. Obviously, we don't have offerings anymore right now without the temple, without the Beis Hamikdash, but it would apply to doing a mitzvah. It would apply to certainly giving tzedakah to someone else. Don't take it from someone else. Stolen money, right? Everything you should use your own. But we have this idea that you should do it from yourself. So Kli Yakar comments on this as well, and he looks at the wording being, it starts off in the beginning of the verse, Adam ki yakriv mikem, which is singular when a person brings an offering, and then it ends, takrivu in plural. And so what's the idea of the singular? And he points at a slightly different angle on Adam. And he says, of course, like we said before, that Adam is the only one who couldn't steal, because he was the only one who everything belonged to him. But he also says another aspect of that was unique to Adam, and that was that Adam, there was no one else in the world for him to look at and say, oh, that person did that, maybe I should do it also. And as opposed to, was an example of next generation, Hevel, right? We know the story of Cain and Hevel, where Hevel ends up killing Cain, but Hevel brought an offering after Cain did. Hevel, when he brought an offering, Hashem was not excited about it. And what was the issue there, besides that he gave from the cheap stuff? But also, he only brought it because, oh, my brother brought it, I guess I should do it also. But it wasn't because he was motivated. And therefore, the Kli Yakar is pointing out that when a person is going to bring an offering, or even, again, he's not saying this, but extend it to anything that you do as a mitzvah or a performance for something for Hashem, don't do it because someone else is doing it. Do it because you are motivated to do it for your own reasons, because you want to do it, because it's the right thing to do. When you're doing it because someone else is doing it, that motivation is not really doing it for Hashem. In other words, in the case of the korban, it's not, first of all, it's not from you. Mikem means from you. It's not really from you. It's because of the other guy. And second of all, you're not really bringing it for Hashem. You're bringing it for yourself because you want to look good to everybody else, right? So therefore, he says, we should learn from Adam that he had no temptation. When he brought an offering, it was because he purely wanted to do it out of his own desire and his own wish to do something for Hashem. So too, we should learn that lesson. So that's the Kli Yakar, a nice idea. One other thought that I saw from Rabbi Mordechai Gifter, and goes back to the Rashi, which is, Rashi told us that from the Medrash that it said Adam, and it used it to teach you a lesson to be like Adam. So he asked, well, if the Torah just wanted to teach you not to bring offerings from stolen goods, why did it just say so? Like, why do I have to go like this and say Adam ki yakrim mikem? I could have just told you, Hashem doesn't desire stolen items in bringing an offering. And he says there's another lesson here. And we can learn a lesson from the concept of Adam. And that is that if we, why is it, he said, that Hashem created the world in a way where he created Adam by himself? We know the rest of the world, he didn't create one animal. He created multiple animals of different species. Why did Hashem create one person? So the Gemara tells us that the reason was so that people cannot say, oh, my ancestor is greater than yours. Look at me. We go back in history and see, oh, I come from this source and you're coming from whoever, because we all come from the same place. Everybody in the world ultimately comes from Adam. And he says that that is a problem when people don't recognize that. If we don't recognize that we all came from the same source, that's how we get into, oh, if I think I come from a better source than you, then I'm better than you. And if I'm better than you, I'm entitled to more than you. And therefore, you shouldn't have that. I should have it. And it becomes the whole concept of jealousy, of feeling I can take what belongs to someone else. He says that stems from a feeling of, I'm better than you, I'm different than you, I come from a different source than you. But if we really understood that ultimately we're all coming from the same place, so we're really all the same, we're all equal, we all have the same yichus, as we say, then I don't necessarily, I will not have that feeling of I'm better than you, and therefore I'm entitled to something more than you. And it's that idea is not just a nice thing in general, but that's built in to the service of Hashem. When you want to bring an offering, that's built in there. You're the feeling that I am doing this because I'm doing it of my own free will, not because of someone else. And the fact that I'm doing it from something that is mine, and I feel that I am not better than someone else, those are the feelings that should be going in to when you're bringing an offering and when you're doing something for the sake of Hashem. And he says this, what teaching us is that to become a korban, right, is designed to bring you closer to Hashem. That's the word korban, karav, to become close. And if you want to become close to Hashem, you have to be able to have you have to be able to respect other people and to feel that you're not better than them. And that's the only way that you can truly achieve closeness to Hashem. And I think maybe we could even extend that, possibly, to when we learn the famous "V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha," to love your neighbor as yourself, right? And Rabbi Akiva told us, "Zeh klal godel b'Torah." That's the basic. And Hillel said, study that, and everything else is commentary, right? That's the fundamental of everything is to love your neighbor as yourself. The fundamental of everything in order to be able to serve Hashem is, yes, you have to be able to respect others. We have to be able to not feel that we're better than anyone else in order to truly achieve the level of loving Hashem and also doing things for the right reason. And we will hold it there. Have a great